Hello, my neighbors. My name is EMELDA and I'm a psychologist who is your neighbor. Today, I am going to start with telling you a story. There was this man, Mr. X, who has a lovely couple, a lovely wife. He has a lovely wife and two children. When he got to 50, when he became 50, his wife started noticing that he's beginning to forget things a lot. You know, when you tell him something recently, or when she's having some discussion, she has had some discussions with him, he forgets, and you know, they don't. He doesn't remember things that they talked about, and each time when she brings them up, she gets offended because. I mean, we just talked about this. You gave me your opinion, and why I'm reminding you of it, you already forgotten that we had such a discussion. And it continued for some time. When he was 60, it got to the point that he could no longer use his motor skills very well. Eating was a problem. It was not like he was having Parkinson's disease, but eating became a problem. He couldn't use his hand to feed well, food was falling off. When he got to 65, it kept on getting worse and worse that certain simple things that he would usually do, he started losing interest in certain activities that he was usually involved in, and even forgetting about his children's birthday, forgetting about his anniversary, forgetting about important details that was making sense to them at the beginning. It was so bad that when he got to 70, he even forgot that he was married, forgot that he had kids. He only remembered people from maybe his primary school days when he was still in primary school, and people he met when he was 5 years, 10 years old, not people he met about 20, 30, 40 years ago. He even got to a point that he stopped eating. It started affecting his nutrition. He became dehydrated, and unfortunately, when he got to 80, he died. But I would like you to know that he was not really, they were not just watching him go through these things, but he was on treatment, and he was being managed all through. Yet he died. I want to dedicate this video to all patients of Alzheimer disease. There are so many things that we really do not consider important that are very important, especially when it comes to our aging parents. It's not that everybody goes through this stage, but so many persons do. The month of September is the month of Alzheimer disease, where we remember the patients of Alzheimer, and we run campaigns for the disease and train people on how to manage and maintain their memories. So I would, in this video, be teaching us or guiding us on how to improve our memory. But before we go on, from the story I told, I would like to explain to you what Alzheimer disease is. Alzheimer's disease is a disease of the brain. Okay, it's a neurological disorder which is very, very progressive, and it's caused by degeneration of the neurons of the cortex. Okay, it also affects the neurons of the hippocampus, which deals with memories and translating things into memories. So the Alzheimer's disease causes degeneration of, in fact, Alzheimer's disease is degeneration and the dying off of neurons. Okay, neurons of the cortex. Neurons are those things that carry information. I'm trying to make it easier for everyone to understand. They carry information. They are like nerve that carry information from different parts of the body to the brain, and from the brain to the different part of the body. So Alzheimer's disease is the disease that affects the neurons, those neurons that carry information that help us to get to know what's happening in the environment. They begin to die. The ones located at the cortex, a part of the brain responsible for cognition, begin to die off, they begin to wear off and die. They lose activities, and usually it is caused by either plaques or tangles. Plaques are some materials in the brain that they gather together at a point and forms a clog and clog together, they clump together and cause a disrupt information passage from one neuron to another. Neurons are not just, it's not just one neuron that runs through the body. There are different types of neurons that come from different areas of the body. There are neurons that come from the ear, from the eye, from different parts of the body. So when information can no longer pass from the eye or from the head or from different parts of the body or from the ear to the brain, maybe there's a bridge of communication, the neurotransmitters can no longer carry those information. It's usually caused by a plague that blocks the neuron. It can also be caused by tangles. There is a protein that is called tau in the neuron that helps to transport nutrients into the brain streams, into the neurons in the brain. Nutrients are those things that help them feed and function properly. So when they can no longer be translated, this tau, they come together and they also form a blockage and begin to wear off the neurons. You see that the neurons begin to tear as if they are tearing, there's a friction, and when nutrients are being carried on, it stops halfway. Those neurons, those places, neurons that nutrients can no longer get to, begins to die and wear off. So that is the cause of Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease has been related to genetics. Okay, you can say the risk factors are usually genetics, they are usually environmental, even your lifestyle can bring about this cause of Alzheimer's disease. Although you have also been able to trace that the causes are not well known, but we can say that genetics, environmental factors, as well as your lifestyle contribute to it. And there are types of Alzheimer's disease, and one of them is sporadic. And the sporadic ones are the ones that they have a late onset, which is usually the normal one. 90 to 95% of cases of Alzheimer's disease are sporadic. That is, they come at late age, when the person is about 50, about 60 to 65 years old. Okay, it comes with different signs and symptoms. While the other one, which is familial, comes at early age. These are 5%, just very few. They are rare cases. Okay, but one of the things that causes familial Alzheimer's disease is Down syndrome. Those children that are mongoloids, are Downs, they have this extra chromosome 21, and that is where the gene that usually causes Alzheimer's disease is. So if a child has Down, there's a possibility of him developing Alzheimer's disease early in life, from 30, 35, or 40 years of age, unlike the sporadic, where the person can be exposed to it from 50. One thing you must know about Alzheimer's disease is that it's not just a disease of forgetting. Okay, there are so many things you see, the symptoms you see that tells you that this is Alzheimer's disease. Number one, it is progressive. It's not just when everybody have forgetfulness, people forget things a lot, but Alzheimer is when it is progressive from one point to another. You notice that you're beginning to forget things too often. It's not just when you forget your key, but when maybe you know that your key is usually placed on the table, and the next morning you're beginning to look for it again, forgetting that this is where you used to place it. The next day it's getting worse and worse. You don't even remember that you have a key. You go downstairs before coming back again to get your key. It becomes more and more difficult for you to process information, for you to learn new things, for you to use your motor skills well, like walking around well, like thinking well, like eating well, begin to affect motor skills. That is it about some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. Okay, and what's worse is when it enters into the stage of long-term memory. As short-term memory, that's when you forget things easily and all. But when it goes to the long-term memory, you begin to forget even people that are close to you, the family members that are very close to you, the people that you've once loved, or maybe businesses that you've once known, and you can no longer run the business well. That is when it gets well, when it gets to long-term memory. Okay, now another thing that you need to know about Alzheimer's disease is that when it gets to the last stage, maybe usually the last stage, the person can stop eating. It can lead to malnutrition. You no longer feel the appetite because the brain has been clogged. The information is no longer very well, it's not passing very well. So you no longer feel hungry, you lose appetite, you no longer feel thirsty. There is dehydration, there is loss of appetite, there is you become bedridden, you fall sick often. you are susceptible to infections and all, and that can lead to death. That is the last stage of Alzheimer's disease. And you know one thing about Alzheimer's disease is that it can be treated, but when it is discovered early, it can be managed, very managed, can be managed, okay, until the person passes on. So why wait until we get the disease before we begin to look for treatment or how to manage them? That is why today I don't just want to talk about Alzheimer's disease. I also want to talk to you about how to improve your memory, how to keep a good and healthy memory so that you don't run the risk of having Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so let's talk about how to improve your memory. The first thing you need to know about improving memory, number one, is be positive. Being positive is different from just saying the right things or doing the right things. Being positive deals with, first of all, your belief. What do you believe about yourself? What do you see about yourself? Even if you are sick, even if you're obese, even if you already have issues in your body system or in your brain, or you maybe you had an accident, or there are so many things that are going wrong with you. What do you believe you can actually get better? Do you believe that you can work on yourself to get better? Probably you're already having memory losses, or so maybe you forget things often. Do you believe that you can work on yourself enough that you can improve? I need to tell you something. Negative emotions or negative thoughts actually impede on our memory. They impede on our memory. They give negative information to the neurons, and they carry it to the brain. And when there is always a negative information in the brain, it causes a blockage in the flow of information. But when you are being positive about life, you are practicing mindfulness, you are concentrated on the present reality and not on what happened to you in the past. You seize every opportunity to be happy. You play, you dance, you laugh out loud. It's all translates to positivity. You don't just think about what has happened to you. You think about, how do I improve from here? There was a situation where someone fell off from a very high place, and the person experienced a damaged brain and loss of memory. So at a point when the person was being managed to recover his memory, they told his relative not to ever tell him that he fell from a height, because he doesn't know, he can't remember that he fell from a height. So they asked his relative not to tell him about falling from a height. And while they were attending to him, they discovered that because they could not tell whatever happened to him, they couldn't tell him whatever happened to him, there was no negative emotions associated to it. He was not giving reasons why he can no longer remember things, or giving reasons why his brain is not working out well. It is not negative information that play on you, and you no longer do the things you're supposed to do. So be positive. It is positivity that will help you to practice the rest of the steps I'm going to list for you. I hope you understand that. Number 2 is nutrition. I know that you already know the importance of eating nice food, but I want to also inform you that good food translates to good cognition. Yes. And I want to advise you to focus on eating organics. Eat natural foods. Prepare your food by yourself and eat. Reduce your consumption of sugary things and carbs, pasteurized products, all those canned things and all. Eat naturals. Blend your fruits and drink. You mustn't take juices and the rest. Okay, that is it about nutrition. Don't just indulge in eating different kind of maybe fries and all. Eat nice food. Eat organics. Do not drink alcohol. Reduce your intake of alcohol and psychoactive drugs. Remember that the nutrients that your neurons carry to your brain are what you eat. So imagine if you're feeding your brain with oil. Imagine feeding your brain with carbs. Imagine feeding your brain with sugar only. You need to eat healthy in order to feed your brain healthy. Okay, that is about nutrition. The third thing is sleep and rest. I know you will also understand the importance of sleeping and resting. The world has become a global village and is running on a very fast pace. And everybody is trying to meet up. Everybody is trying to, put extra hours, extra work, extra energy. They're trying to meet up. Everybody's trying to meet up with the race and all. But I want you to understand that if you have enough rest and enough sleep, you will have a good working memory. A research was carried out where students were tested. And one group was given memory tests after they had slept, whereas the other group were given memory tests after a long period of activity. And they discovered that the ones who slept before taking the memory test performed 30 times better. They were 30% higher in performance than the people who did not sleep. So resting is very important. Sometimes drop your cell phone, close your eyes and rest. Sometimes sleep for a longer period. I know you're trying to, do more extra activities, but you won't be helping your brain function very well if you don't sleep and rest. Forget all about the activities, the noise happening outside. Go into a very quiet environment and rest. Sometimes it's not just about sleeping. Sometimes even resting your eyes can be open, but you're resting, you're relaxed. Your brain is not thinking about a lot of things. Your mind is not wandering. You're just trying to bring everything together in unison so that they can just concentrate on whatever is happening in the Look for a natural environment, go to the woods or parks, environments where they are, that is calm, where you can, just reflect over things that are happening within the environment. Rest and sleep, they're very, very important. Number four is learn. I cannot overemphasize the importance of learning. Recently we carried out in the commemoration of Alzheimer's month, we carried out a test on older adults, and we discovered that when we test adults, they perform better in cognitive tests than some. Educated ones perform better than the ones that are not educated. People that are exposed to education are apt in response. Okay, they respond very fast and they can read information, they can understand information you are giving to them very fast, and they respond very fast. They are almost 80% accurate. They were almost 80% accurate than the uneducated ones. That education is not just about going to school. As important as that is, give yourself activities that helps you to learn. Watch videos that helps you to learn new information daily. Read books that help you to learn new information daily. You are giving your brain the task to do what? To learn. They're trying to help your brain to be, susceptible, to be prone to easily taking new information. Because remember, I told you that Alzheimer also has to do with learning. Dementia has to do with learning, the ability to learn new information. You lose the ability to learn new information if you have this disease, but you can help to prevent it by constantly teaching your brain to always learn new information. Learning cannot be overemphasized. You have to practice learning at every time. Practice meditation. When you've learned something, meditate on it. Try to apply it in life situations. And apply whatever you've learned in life situations. Take time to just sit down, meditate in quietness. Think about, maybe you've read a chapter or two. Just sit down, think about it, meditate on it, keep thinking and keep exploring. You notice that a sentence alone, you can meditate on a sentence alone for a very long time, and you begin to understand different facets and aspects of that sentence. That is meditation. It helps you to explore your brain. You are giving your brain a task. Like brain, you must learn. Brain, you must learn something new. You are developing it. It's just like a body that is not being exercised. If you're not exercising your body, it gets to a point when your bones begin to pain, your muscles are tight and painful, and you notice that you no longer, maybe you want to bend down and you're like, I have so much pain on my waist, because you're not exercising, you're not fit. That's the same thing with the brain. Learning helps the brain to stay fit. As you're giving it new information, it stays healthy and fit. That's another way to improve your memory. The fifth and the final one is play games that help enhance your brain. And I mean game, I mean both indoors and outdoor games. Play games like chess. They help you to think. You can't play chess if you're not thinking. You play games like chess, crossword puzzles, you know. You can use your phone also to play word cookies. They ask you to make up, maybe they give you a word like tea and ask you to make two more words from it. You can say, you can think and come up with it, your such games, they help to exercise your brain, exercise your body, exercise your mind, massage your brain. It's part of the play. Massage it, massage your brain like this. When you have the opportunity, just massage your brain. It helps you to relax. Also, if you have the opportunity to go out and take a run with the guys, go out and run. Play football. Do a friendly, maybe within your compound, call people, your children, your siblings, play around with them. Don't be too big to play. Don't be too busy to play. Don't be too busy to laugh out loud when you need to. It's part of the things that you help to build your brain. When you do all these activities, they ease off all the stress within your brain and you can focus on the more relevant information. Life is easy if you decide to make it easy. That's what you should understand. And your memory and your cognitive ability will work perfectly if you decide to expose yourself to these activities. First of all, be positive. Be positive about life. Be positive. Believe that you can do things to improve yourself. Don't just take things about the past. Don't make the things of the past your central focus. Focus on what is in the present. And, make every effort to build a beautiful future. Okay? Decide to take on it. Don't just say, I know them. Let's just forget that thing. It doesn't work that way. It's not working easy. You think it's that easy. No, that's negativity. Be positive. Secondly, eat good food. Work on your nutrition. This week, draw up a table. Say, I'm going to work on organics this week. I'm going to take fruits this week. Live a fasted life. Don't eat all the time. Don't just eat anything you see. Eat minimum amount of food, the one required for your body, because the rest are converted to waste eventually. Remember what I said? Sleep and rest. When you sleep and rest, you help your brain to stay calm and focus on the important things. The fourth one is what? Learning. Expose yourself, learn new things daily, read books, get educated, educate your mind. And finally, the fifth one, play games. Be involved in playing. Play games on your phone, outdoor games like chess, golf, tennis, snookers, any game that can help you think, play those games. And that's it for how to improve your memories, my neighbor. All we do here is anything at all that will help you improve your mental health. And I believe that this video has been able to help you to know what to do and what not to do. If you have any questions, if you have any contributions, or you have a story, maybe a loved one has suffered Alzheimer before, then just put it down in the comments, or something you don't understand, just comment about it and we'll respond to you ASAP. Okay, thank you very much for coming to my channel. If you love what we are doing, please subscribe. Just click on that red button and click on the bell so you get the notifications when we post anything, the new videos. Okay, all right. And also share your friends, relatives. There are people that might be going through some memory issues with their memory. Can help them by sharing this video to them so that they will know what to do to improve their memories. Thank you very much again. See you in the next video. Bye.